Okay. Well, how about this voice? Jonathan Gannon on Burns and Gambo yesterday. Did he watch what unfolded on Sunday Night Football in Seattle?
Burns, you are 199% right. On to Carolina.
Don't watch it. You didn't even watch a minute of it last night.
I turned it on because I was putting the kids to bed, but and the game was on. But no, I think I was in bed before it ended. You got it. Well, and here's obviously you know why. You got to control the controllables. So we don't control that. All we can control is us. So that's what we're focused on.
I will say good on him for keeping with the message that he's been passing along all season, which is control what we can control, one game at a time, stacking wins, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that JG has said all year has very much stood to his mantra. But come on, man. That was a huge help for the Cardinals on Sunday night. Huge help.
Yeah, can I just tell you right now, coaches are busy for the most part. They really, really are.
I believe it, yeah.
And even though it does sound ridiculous, but he did say that he turned it on late. He did say that.
While he's putting the kids to bed.
While he's putting the kids to bed.
It's background noise. He's barely paying attention.
But can I tell you, it's the one thing, of course, as you know, Paul Calvisi and I, we do a JG show with him. We do it every Monday, and we get the opportunity to talk to him. And the one thing that is so unbelievably, I mean mind-numbingly so, consistent about JG is everything you hear him say publicly, to me, he's the same guy when he's not in a public situation, but a private situation. This has been something really encouraging to me. He is myopic about this stuff. He is a guy that is crazy about just the next week, the next game. And when I stop and think about it, a head coach has got a lot of things he's got to think about, a lot of things he's got to consider, a lot of things he's got to address. And because of that, man, looking 2 or 3 weeks down the road would be a bit of an issue when you know you've got A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z that you got to address and fix if you want to win the next game. So to me, it does seem crazy for us that a coach is not going to sit there and think about down the road. But, man, if you don't take care of business, especially now with the Arizona Cardinals, if you don't take care of Carolina and beating Carolina, guess what? The Rams game really isn't going to matter.
I'll turn it into a fan perspective. There was a poll question that Burns and Gambo had put out last week that was in regards to if the Cardinals are able to win these next 2 games, how big is the game against the Rams? That was I think it was a poll question or it was a conversation that they had. And the mood of the fan base prior to the game against the Patriots is, well, if we could even get there. So I can only imagine what a coach is thinking when posed with the question about, hey, did you watch that game on Sunday night and how big of a game it could be when you guys play the Rams 2 weeks from now? They can't focus on 2 weeks from now.
No.
And the fans don't want to look at 2 weeks from now because they weren't in the mindset that things are going well for the Cardinals prior to the Patriots game. Now things are different for us, but they're not different for the Cardinals.
No, and once again, from a coach's perspective, a coaching staff, from their perspective, brothers, man, do you have any idea how much tape they watch? How much tape they watch, and how many times they're going over and over and over again with the game plan, and what practice is going to bring today, and how we're going to practice today, the practice schedule and the plays that we're going to use. And they're so focused on what it is that they're doing. Yes, do they peek ahead? They have to peek ahead. They have to start watching tape. They do that as a coaching staff. They will do that. But, man, it's so hyper-focused week to week with coaches in particular about what they're doing today. When you hear JG talk about be where your feet are, right? He's big on that. The whole be in the present. Today. It's all about today, not tomorrow. He's so right on that because, again, it's part of the process. This is it. This is how a player prepares. You have to do it. You can't look ahead as a player. You have to focus on your job today or you're going to lose sight of the goal you're trying to achieve.
So the Cardinals can't look ahead. But I think you and I sitting here right now, we can look ahead.
We can look ahead.
Because it's totally fun to
think about it. Oh, no, Mel. Mitch, the purge. The purge sound is coming right now.
I've never felt comfortable
Well,
when I've heard that siren, if I'm being honest.
Okay, but you know what the purge is, right? I mean, just give it to me one more time, Mal. You know what I mean? There it is. Warning! Don't talk about this. Warning! Focus on, and it's one of the things that we get it, Mal. We understand right now. It's one of the things as players you never allow yourself to consider. But Minch, if we're gonna go and start talking about what might be in store for the Arizona Cardinals in the future right now, I'm gonna put my fan hat on and let's talk about it, Mitch.
All
you
right.
got a couple of minutes, give it to me.
Let's do it. So here's how things stand right now. The Rams, 8-6, top of the division, tied with the Seahawks technically, but the Rams have the advantage because they have the better conference record,
Yes.
and they have the better division record because they beat the Seahawks earlier this year. Boy, is that Week 18 game going to loom large if things hang the way they are.
That's going to be huge.
The Cardinals, 7-7.
Yes.
Just a game back of both of those teams. They've already beaten the Rams, so
Yes.
that's good for the Cardinals.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they've lost to the Seahawks twice, and their NFC conference record is not that great.
Okay.
Not that great. How can the Cardinals get themselves into position to be that team? Well, they obviously have to beat Carolina. Aside from the fact that they're a bad team, that's another NFC team that you can beat, that you can add to the ledger. And then you got the Rams and the 49ers.
Yes.
And the 49ers seem like a team you can pounce on a couple weeks from now. They look like a mess right now. Former Cardinal Devondre Campbell quitting on them in the third quarter of a game that they really needed him. You got Fred Warner with a broken bone in his ankle still going out there and playing, but it's I don't like what position.
I can't even believe that happened right there. Okay, so Mitch, right now we're thinking, boy, we'd like the Seahawks to lose. Correct?
Yeah.
We'd like the Seahawks to
and their
lose.
quarterback is in question right now.
Because
Did I mention
right now,
that part?
the Arizona Cardinals are going to play the Rams. They're going to play the Rams, of course, Ron Wolfley reporting, after the Carolina Panthers. Now, we would not talk about the Rams if I were doing a show right here, the Wolf and Luke show with Mitch Vareldzis filling in. If I were doing that show right there, I would not be talking about this, okay? Honestly. Because I am a player and I come from a player's perspective. Once a player, always a player. But because I've got the fan hat on right now, it's time to talk about this. I want the Seattle Seahawks to tank. That's what we want. We want the Seahawks to tank. We want the Cardinals to win out. Is there a possibility they could win out? Yes, there is. But it starts with the Carolina Panthers first. That's number one. The Rams game looms big. It looms big. And the 49ers, can I just say this? I'm not dismissing the 49ers in the last week of the season. I'm not doing that. And the reason why I'm not doing that, brothers, is because there couldn't be a better way for them to say, you know what? We've had a rotten year, but we're going to make it stink for somebody else than beating the Arizona Cardinals in that last week. Beating them. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I am into this. And I am thinking the Cardinals, if they can win out, have a really good shot of doing something special.
What helps their situation, and this is the last thing I'll say on this, the Seahawks have uncertainty with quarterback Geno Smith. They're playing the Vikings on Sunday.
Yes.
The week after that, they're playing the Bears, which...
The Bears.
The Bears. And then they play the Rams to close the season in Los Angeles. The Rams, it's a little bit difficult, but that Week 17 game looms large because the Rams play the Jets, and then the Cardinals, and then they host the Seahawks to close the season. Boy, is this going to be a fascinating 3 weeks.
It's going to be unbelievable. Here we go.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.